All right, everybody, welcome to Studio B. I am your host, Pastor MDH. Thank you very much for joining us here on the set today. And remember, if you're watching us on a YouTube channel right now, on our YouTube channel, make sure that you look at that button to the left or to the right, wherever it may be located on your screen. Hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything going on here on the set of Studio B. I just got a quick little 15-minute empowerment session for you of what I call the Big Five. I operate by the Big Five in my life, and I want to share those 5 basic principles with you on today. You know, when I went to Africa, and to God be the glory, I've been to Africa several times. One of the mainstays of Africa, one of the biggest tourist attractions is what they call the Big Five. And that's when you go to the game reserve, whether in the Serengeti or the Masai Mara, you get into these safari jeeps and you just drive around with the hopes of spotting the Big Five. If you've seen the Big Five through a game reserve ride, then you have accomplished something great. And the Big Five are the lion, the leopard, the rhino, the elephant, and the African buffalo. They are called the Big Five, and these are the biggest attractions in any game reserve that you may go to in Africa. I similarly have a Big Five that I go by in my own life, and I want to share a couple of those with you on today. And they're really, really simple, but they're really, really complex. They're really, really easy to understand, but sometimes very difficult to do. They are the Big Five. And these are 5 principles that I try to pattern my life by daily. Doesn't always work out to that degree. Let me just tell you that. There are some slips up in the road that may happen here and there, but I try to be diligent to these 5 principles. One is character. Doing the right thing even when no one else is watching. The character of the person is the real person. The public person is not the real person. The private person is the real person. Who you are when no one is watching is who you really are. It is not your public persona. It is not the person that people see on TV or see on social media. Those 2 people of the public and the private are oftentimes 2 different people. Character is who you are when no one else is watching. Who you are when you're riding in the car all by yourself. It is who we are internally and instinctively. And most people have learned to operate with a mask in the public arena and take the mask off in private. But character is the same person in private as it is in public. That's the character. And I try my best to be as diligent and as consistent in my life to make sure that the person in private, the Marcus D. Holman in private, is the same Marcus D. Holman that everybody sees, whether on camera or whatever sphere that I may be in. So character is important. Who are you when no one else is watching? That's 1. 2 is growth. And that is continually developing and improving. And here's what I mean by this. I try to focus on a certain area of my life and then try to gradually improve on that area every single day. Growth is getting better every single day, whether that's by a little or whether that's by a lot. Is moving the needle in our lives every single day with intention, getting better in certain areas of our lives. But in order to grow, you got to have confidence to point out your own imperfections, the areas of your life that you know you need attention at. That's very important because you will never grow in the area that you don't think that you need to grow in. So a good gauge of self-awareness is looking at that person in the mirror and saying, person in the mirror, what do I need to work on? And being honest with yourself and confident enough to identify those areas and then put effort into being better in those areas. First one is character. Second one is growth. Third one is servant leadership, helping people perform as highly as possible. knowing that God has given me a particular set of skill sets. And by God's grace, I've been able to hone those skill sets over the years, over the decades, and begin to be very good in some areas of my life and then still need to be working on other areas. But I try to take what I'm good at, take what God has gifted me at, take what I have been trained at, and then help other people to advance in their lives. I really believe in the model of servant leadership. that what God has given to you, to me, to us is not just for you, for me, and for us only. It is for the world to enjoy. It is for the world to benefit from what God has placed on the inside of us. So servant leadership is a very, very big deal for me. And I try my best to serve in areas where I can help other people be better in areas of their lives. And so it's a very big deal for me. And it's something that I have to intentionally do, not by default, but I got to intentionally try to impact people's lives on a daily basis. That is servant leadership, helping people to perform at a high level. We're doing an academy right now. We just did an exercise, and I shared with them that your good is not good enough. Your good is not good enough. You're living in a world right now that is highly competitive, where you're going to have to be specialized in areas of your expertise in order to separate yourself from the competition. But in order to do that, the best people who are good at certain things have people around them that have helped them to be good in those particular areas. That is servant leadership, helping people to perform as highly as possible. Fourthly, we're talking about empowerment. And that's giving people the authority and the freedom to fulfill their responsibilities. It's not about helping people. It's about empowering people. See, helping people is a means to no end, right? Because when you help somebody, then they continue to expect that help that you're giving them. But when you empower them, you give them the authority to govern over their own lives. See, when I empower you, I teach you how to fish as opposed to just giving you fish. It is empowering you to be the authority in your own life, to be the captain of your own ship, to help to navigate your life so that you become the best person that God has intended. That is empowering people. I often use this when we're talking about missions, because when we do mission trips, we don't go with the model of helping the people where we may be at. Okay, even though they may need a lot of help. We use the model of empowering, especially in the American, model of missions, where Americans go with a whole lot of trinkets and a whole lot of money and a whole lot of people that volunteer, and they will go and build a house X, Y, and Z in this particular community and then just hand over the keys. We don't believe in that particular model. We believe in empowering communities that we've been equipped by God to go alongside of and serve with. So we empower communities. And so while we may bring skill sets and training and things of that nature, we allow the communities that we serve to lead those endeavors, right? We empower them to be the captains of their own ship. And this is important, because when you empower a person, you will get more out of that person than if you just simply help them. God didn't call us to help people to the degree to where they begin to rely on us. God has called us to empower. When Jesus came to seek and to save that which was lost, he came to deposit the Holy Spirit on the inside of us to empower us to be the best people that God has created us to be. And then lastly, I try to live by this commitment of commitment, and that's being dedicated to accomplish a particular task or mission. Your zeal is not enough. Your passion is not enough. Your love is not enough. Your want to is not enough. You need commitment. It's oftentimes the illustration that I use, the chicken and the pig, right? The chicken is involved in breakfast. The pig is committed to breakfast. The chicken can lay a couple of eggs and put a couple of over easy eggs on your plate, and then he can go on to lay other eggs in the future for other breakfasts. But that piece of bacon that's on your plate, that piece of sausage that's on your plate, that came through commitment. That pig gave his life for that piece of bacon that's sitting on your plate. You got to have commitment in life. Okay, you're good. Oh, I want to do this. Okay, that's fine. I love to do this. Okay, that's fine. I want to do this. Yeah, that's fine. That's all wonderful, but you don't have commitment. And a commitment is, here's the task, and following it through to completion. That is commitment. And you need that in order to do well in life. So let me recap these really quickly. Character, that's who you are when nobody else is watching. Growth, that is continual development and improvement. Servant leadership, that means helping people perform as highly as possible. Empowerment is giving people the authority and freedom to govern their own lives. And then commitment, being dedicated to accomplish a task and a mission to its completion. These are the big five that I call in my own life that I try to live out on a daily basis, try to teach my family these 5 principles so that we are living life intentionally rather than by default. I believe that's God's intention for our lives. And I believe that if we do what thus saith the Lord, we will be better in life. So, but I wanted to drop those couple gems on you right there. Remember, I believe it's God's intent for us to go out here and conquer the world, not just to be participants in the world, to whatever God has lended your hand to do, to be the best that you can possibly be in that endeavor of your life. Remember, it relies on you. God has already equipped you. God has blessed you. God has given you the skills and the resources to accomplish it. Now it's up to you to perform. Perform well. Perform at a high level. God will be pleased. Your life will be blessed, and everybody will be blessed around you. Everybody, thank you for joining us here on the set of Studio B. Remember, wherever you're watching us from, follow, like, subscribe. Get all in those comments. Let me know how we're doing here on the set of Studio B. We want to thank you for your viewership and your followership. And remember, the best is yet to be. We'll see you next time.